This is UPN 9 News.
A drug treatment center for kids is the center of controversy tonight. Some say its practices are questionable and downright abusive. I-Team investigator Krista Bradford is here with part one of a special report on the kids of North Jersey. Krista?
They range in age from 12 to 22. Drug addicts, runaways, bulimics, and anorexics. Troubled young people who go to Kids of North Jersey for help. But now the allegation is that the program is actually hurting some of its patients.
To me, it's torture. I swear it's torture. One time, she had a black eye. At that point, I felt she was getting abused. I kept thinking, these people are sick. Something's wrong with them.
Whatever goes on inside this Secaucus office building is supposed to remain a secret. That's the contract that parents must sign in order to send their children to the drug treatment program that operates here. Yet despite that promise of secrecy, many of those same parents have filed complaints against Kids of North Jersey with the Secaucus Police Department, alleging assault and criminal restraint of their children.
It sounds like family members used to be important to you.
Kids of North Jersey is a treatment program for adolescents and young adults suffering from drug and alcohol addiction, eating disorders, and other compulsions. Yet no matter what the problem, the treatment remains the same. Kids' patients must dress alike and act alike. Instead of raising their hands, they are required to do this.
It's like a prison to me. It's worse than a prison, it's a cult.
Carmela Bagnato says her daughter was treated like a prisoner. She couldn't go anywhere without another patient leading her around by the belt loops. She was forbidden to talk freely. So when her mother would visit, Rachel couldn't tell her how she was being treated. She charges that during rap sessions, when she wouldn't confess to sins she says she didn't commit. Other patients and staff pinned her to the floor.
They threw me on the floor, and they cover your mouth like that, so you can't breathe. And they threw me on the floor, and they busted my lip.
She claims it happened again.
They threw me on the floor, then they gave me the black eye. That's when I got the black eye, because they punched me in my eye.
And again.
They threw me on the floor, and my nose was bleeding, and I couldn't breathe.
You're describing in a very distorted way a restraint technique in case somebody gets upset and starts acting out.
Miller Newton is the director of Kids of North Jersey, and as such, he says he's prevented from commenting specifically on any of the charges. It would violate patient confidentiality. But he says these accusations are patently untrue, and they are to be expected, especially from those who do not complete treatment. Newton says patients are restrained only after they start swinging.
They may explode in violence. Under staff supervision, people that are not hitties will calmly take the chair out, put them down on the floor, and talk them into calming down until they agree to get back in their chair and not attack other people.
One time I was on the floor for 6 hours.
This former patient says she was kept on the floor 4 hours after she had calmed down.
I got assaulted a lot. Like, they call it restraint, but it's assault because all the time, if I didn't talk about my past, I would go on the floor.
Most of the young people here have been very violent in the past. They beat up parents, abused siblings, they've often attacked police, all kinds of things.
But then some of those same young people are allowed to physically restrain other patients.
A staff member slammed my head on the floor.
A third former patient describes similar mistreatment.
They took their knuckles and put it in my ankles, and they took their knees and pushed on my shoulder. They fold your ears over, and they take their legs and squeeze your head real tight. And then I had started crying, and they slammed my mouth. They held my nose, and I couldn't breathe.
In the early 80s, Newton was director of a program called Straight, which was sued several times for alleged abuse. With the First Lady, he just said no. Later, a jury said yes to awarding $750,000 to a client who claimed Newton had slammed her against a wall. Newton denied the charge. The case settled for $400,000. In 1983, Newton left Straight to open Kids of Bergen County here in Hackensack and programs in 3 other states. Soon, investigators were looking into similar allegations of abuse. The Bergen County Prosecutor's Office escorted a dozen patients from kids' facilities following claims they were detained against their will.
Has law enforcement come here to help escort adults out of the program who had claimed that they were being held against their will?
I have a real problem with this question because now you're talking about a specific case, and I suddenly am afoul of the federal law if I talk about it.
Has law enforcement ever had to escort anybody out of your program?
Nobody's had to escort anybody out of the program.
Okay, have they been escorted out of your program?
On a couple of occasions, they have been.
The kids' programs in Utah, Texas, and California all closed under pressure of the investigations. Kids of Bergen County changed its name to Kids of North Jersey and reopened in Secaucus. There, the mystery of what goes on inside frightens some parents, like this woman whose son was ordered into the program by the court.
He's lost a tremendous amount of weight. You can't get to see him. You can't talk to him. I don't know how he's doing.
Now, after we conducted that interview, the mother was able to get her son out of the program. He told his mother he'd rather do time in jail than in Kids of North Jersey. Sean, Brenda.
Well, thanks.